Hello everyone, I am Assistant Professor Urmi Shah from IT/ICT Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today I will be discussing with a newer chapter of these analog and digital communication subject, that is spread spectrum communication. This is unit number 9 of this ADC subject. So let's move ahead with this session. Basically, the topics which I am going to cover in today's session are spread spectrum concept. So these are the topics which I will be covering in today's session. So firstly, coming to the spread spectrum. What is spread spectrum? What does this word spread spectrum means? Like this chapter you will be learning, in that you will be learning what are the different blocks and what are the different techniques which are included in spread spectrum. But firstly, let's understand the word spread spectrum. You all might be familiar with the word bandwidth. Basically, what is bandwidth? It is the minimum allowable range of frequencies which are allowed for passing of any signal. So that is bandwidth. And whenever we are talking about analog and digital communication subject, the word spectrum will come into the chapter. So basically you all might have heard about the 3G spectrum, 4G spectrum, 5G spectrum in your news channels. Now what is the spectrum? So the owners or the manufacturers, whenever they are purchasing any technology, 3G, 4G, 5G data spectrum, you all are hearing that word continuously in news channel. Whenever any owner buys a spectrum is nothing but the certain range of frequencies where he or she can transmit his or her signals. So that is nothing but spectrum. If I have been allotted a spectrum of 400 to 800 Hertz frequency, but whatever signals I am going to pass will not be able to accommodate it in that spectrum. So generally what as an owner I will do, I will try to expand my spectrum. So that technique is nothing but spread spectrum. In analog and digital communication, or whenever you study any communication related topic, the allotted bandwidth, the allotted spectrum, the range of frequencies which is purchased by an owner will be limited, but if he or she wants to expand it to accommodate all the signal frequencies in that spectrum, then he or she is going to use this spread spectrum concept. Now what is this spread spectrum technically means, that we will be understanding via this video. So the first thing is, in spread spectrum the allowable data can be analog or digital data. Basically the signal which we are going to transmit will be in form of analog signal. The spread data over the wide bandwidth can be allotted via spread spectrum. As allowable bandwidth is this much, but you can spread a lot of data over that bandwidth, that concept is known as spread spectrum. It can make jamming and interception harder. Jamming means, you all might be hearing that in our colleges we have jammers, and in this historical places also we have jammers. We are not able to have proper network in our mobile phones. So jamming itself means you are blocking certain frequencies so that it won't be reachable by the other person or other people. So the frequency hopping concept can be included in the spread spectrum. Basically, in frequency hopping, the signal can be broadcast over seemingly random series of frequencies, and in direct sequence we have to give each bit, which can be represented by multiple bits in transmitted signal. So basically we will have a chipping code for direct sequence. So these are the two types of spread spectrum, that is frequency hopping and another one is direct sequence. So what is this frequency hopping spread spectrum? What is this direct spread spectrum? That we will be learning in this sessions. Let's move ahead. So basically the spread spectrum concept is having input which has to be fed to the channel encoder. Then that channel encoder will produce narrow bandwidth which will have analog signal around some central frequency. The signal which is modulated, it will be modulated using sequence of digits. The spreading code and the sequence will be generated once the modulation part is completed. Typically, the generated output by pseudo-noise or pseudo-random number generator. This can increase the bandwidth significantly. It can increase spreading of spectrum. The receiver uses same sequence to demodulate the signal. The demodulated signal will be fed into channel decoder. So this is how the whole spread spectrum concept works whenever we are dealing with the spread spectrum or bandwidth analysis. The general model of spread spectrum system. This is the basic block diagram for spread spectrum. The input will be given to the channel encoder. Channel encoder will supply that output to the modulator. Modulator circuitry we will have mixing of spreading code, that is generated from pseudo noise generator. So basically pseudo noise generator is going to generate some random amount of noise which will be mixed up with a signal which is coming in the modulator circuitry. From modulator, further the output will be processed to the communication channel. From communication channel, output will be further going to demodulator circuitry. Again in demodulator circuitry, there will be mixing up of spreading code which is generated from pseudo noise generator, which was happened earlier at the modulator section. These spreading code will be mixed up with the signal which is coming from communication channel into demodulator section. So finally the demodulator is going to have the mixed output which is mixed up, which is coming from channel and pseudo random noise generator. Further the output will be processed to the channel decoder. Channel decoder will decode the output which is given by the demodulator circuitry and it will generate the output data. So this is how the spread spectrum system works for communication system. Coming to the gains of the spread spectrum system, the immunity is very high, or immunity from various amounts of noise and multiple or multi-part distortion. It includes jamming as well. It can hide and encrypt signals and it can have a receiver only who knows spreading code and can retrieve the signal. Several users can share same higher bandwidth with little interference. The techniques which can be used in this category are used upon in cellular telephones, they are used in code division multiplexing, and they are used in code division multiple access, that is CDMA, CDM and cellular telephones. So these are the users which are preferring this same higher bandwidth with little interference. So they are preferring spread spectrum concept. Now what are pseudo-random numbers? These are generated by an algorithm using initial seed. Initial seed means initial value is submitted or initialization has been done for these algorithms which can generate pseudo-random number. This is a deterministic algorithm and not actually random, but if the algorithm goes good, the results can have maximum those values which can be reasonably tested that the randomness of this algorithm is quite good. So need to know the algorithm and seed. Seed value is nothing but your initial value, which is initialized before the starting of this algorithm. So we need to have the knowledge about algorithm and the seed to predict the sequence that is generated from pseudo-random generator. So the first kind of spread spectrum technique is frequency hopping spread spectrum (FHSS). In this technique, the signal broadcasts over seemingly random series of frequencies. The receiver hops between frequencies in sync with the transmitter. The eavesdroppers hear unintelligible blips. Jamming on one frequency affects only a few bits. So this is about FHSS. Nextly, the basic operation includes typically 2 raised to k carriers frequencies forming 2 raised to k channels. Channel spacing corresponds with the bandwidth of input. Each channel is used for fixed interval, that is 300 ms, that is 300 milliseconds in IEEE 802.11. This is nothing but our Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi range is IEEE 802.11. Same number of bits transmitted using same encoding technique. It may be in fractions of bit and the sequence which is directed or dictated is by spreading both. Nextly, the example which is given over here is of frequency hopping example. Randomly, for the channel assignment, the channel can use the random hops. So this is nothing but frequency hopping example. Now coming to the transmitter and receiver circuitry of frequency hopping spread spectrum. What actually includes in the block diagram of FHSS? If in exam a question given to you is explain what is FHSS via block diagram. Then you will draw the block diagram of transmitter circuitry and you will draw the block diagram of receiver circuitry as well. And what are the things which we need to explain is starting from the first block. What will be the input given to FHSS? It will be in form of binary data. Binary data will be given to FSK or BPSK modulator circuitry. Further, the modulator will generate the modulated output in terms of data signal, that is SD of T. It will pass it on to the mixer block. In mixer block, what are the input coming is from pseudo noise bit source. The output is generated and given to channel table. From channel table, it is given to frequency synthesizer. Why frequency synthesizer is used? Because the randomly generated source might not fit with the frequency of our modulated signal. That's why we need to extend or synthesize the frequency for this signal which is coming via channel table from pseudo noise generator. So frequency synthesizer will do the frequency changes and it will supply C of T to the FH spreader. FH is nothing but frequency hopping spreader. It will further pass on the output to band pass filter about some frequency, and band pass filter will pass on some limited frequencies only. Higher frequencies and lower frequencies with respect to that band will be filtered out, and that band frequencies only will be passed to the output signal, and this will be our spread spectrum signal, S of T. So this is how the transmitter block or transmitter circuitry works for frequency hopping spread spectrum. Nextly, let's understand about the receiver circuitry. In the receiver circuitry of frequency hopping spread spectrum, the input will be coming from the spread spectrum signal generated via transmitter block, and that input will be fed to FH D-spreader. This is nothing but a mixer. D-spreader will have another input coming from pseudo noise bit source via channel table via frequency synthesizer to the FH D-spreader circuitry. Again it will pass on the signal to band pass filter, and finally the demodulator block will be there, which will filter out the modulated signal and only pass on the message signal in form of binary data. So you can see the transmitter and receiver block are almost same. So you can easily remember this. The only difference is the modulator block is in starting in transmitter, while the demodulator block is in ending in receiver circuitry. This is the only difference between the two block diagrams, that is transmitter and receiver of frequency hopping spread spectrum. So this way you can easily remember this concept, and you can write about the whole process of frequency hopping. These are the references for the topics which we have discussed today. You can refer these books for understanding the topics which we have discussed today. In the next session, we will be discussing more about FHSS and DSSS, that is frequency hopping spread spectrum and direct sequence spread spectrum. What are the drawbacks of each of them? What are the advantages of each of them? Then why FHSS or DSSS is preferred? That we will be discussing in the upcoming next session. Thank you so much for watching this session. Thank you.